Hey everyone, my name is Bastian. I'm one of the board members of the OBF, and today I will give the update on behalf of the OBF board about what the Open Bioinformatics Foundation has been up to. So let's start with what is the OBF. The OBF is a non-profit volunteer-run group that promotes open source software development and open science practices within the biological research community. The membership is open to anyone involved in these activities, so if you are here today, you are invited to join for free and become a member and shape what the OBF is doing going forward. The OBF board are all volunteers that work on this together to promote open science and open source practices in bioinformatics. And we do a number of different activities to achieve this. One of the first things we do is we write a regular newsletter, semi-regular, several issues a year. They are managed currently by Geraldine, one of our volunteer contributors, and user submissions, project updates, conferences, whatever you have are very much welcome. You are very much invited to also help us write a new issue shortly after this year's BOSC conference, which we managed on GitHub, where you can find more information on how to contribute. Another thing we do is BOSC and the Collaboration Festival. BOSC is where you are right now, and it's been held annually since the year 2000. The Open Bioinformatics Foundation holds all the profits and losses from the conference, and the sponsorship to BOSC is one of the main income streams for the Open Bioinformatics Foundation, and Naomi will tell you a lot more about BOSC in general. Since 2010, we are also doing a Code Fest for Coding Festival, a non-competitive hackathon in which people work together on open source projects. In 2018, we renamed the whole thing to Collaboration Festival because it's not just about code, but also documentation and other practices. And in 2020-21, we needed to do the whole thing online due to COVID. And since last year, we are having a hybrid event that's both online and in person. This year, CoFest happened before BOSC, and Tamar will update you about how it went in a bit. Another thing the Open Bioinformatics Foundation is doing is the Google Summer of Code participation. The OBF has been an umbrella for open source bioinformatics projects since 2010 and participating in the Google Summer of Code in most years. And we've also allowed non-member projects which are not part of the OBF to participate as long as they do open source bioinformatics. This year, unfortunately, we are not participating in the Google Summer of Code because we didn't find anyone with enough time to be a dedicated admin for this. If you want to get in touch and help us running Google Summer of Code next year for the OBF as an admin, please get in touch. We would like it very much. And one of the other things we are doing with the OBF is running an event fellowship. It's aimed at increasing the diverse participation at events promoting open source bioinformatics and open science in biology. And we started it in 2016 as a travel fellowship. It's now in its 8th year, and since then we've made around 40 awards to people, and each awardee writes a blog post about where they went and how it was, and you can all read all of those on the OBF blog if you want. These awards are up to $1,000 and they are originally designed to reimburse travel expenses, but they can also include things like childcare. And now that many things are going online, which are generally cheaper, they can also cover things like buying microphones, webcams, data for mobile internet, fuel for generators, things like this. The funding these days primarily comes from the BOSC and OBF sponsors, but the original funding comes from Nescent. And as I said, the online meetings are a lot cheaper, so we can fund more people than we used to. There's currently a deadline for this going on, which is August 1st. So if you are planning to attend any event on bioinformatics going forward, there is still time to get your application in. You can find more information also on the OBF website. So to sum it all up, the OBF does a lot of different things, and you can read everything about what we are doing on the OBF website at open-bio.org. You can email the board at board@openbio.org, and we have a Slack, GitHub. We are on Twitter and Mastodon if you want to follow both the OBF and BOSC and see what's going on. And of course, subscribe to the newsletter if you want to see when the next deadlines for event fellowships are and so on. And with that, of course, thank you, first of all, to you for listening to this, but also to the larger OBF membership, its financial donors and sponsors, all the other board members, SPI for handling our finances, the BOSC organizing and review committees, and Naomi, of course, for being a great chair, the CoFest organizing committee, and the sponsors and attendees in ISCB for this year's BOSC. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the conference.